बने रहे. We are now tracking some more information that is coming our way regarding pole-bound West Bengal. In fact, the Supreme Court has taken cognizance of the incident that took place in Malda. Now, CJI Surya Kant revealed that the incident began at around 3:30 p.m., but authorities took no action till late evening. Senior advocate Kapil Sibal flagged media reports calling the situation unfortunate. One senior advocate warned that judicial officers who earlier faced only threats are now confronting physical attacks, terming it as Mobocracy. Let me in fact go across to my colleague Sambhav Sharma, who is also with us on this broadcast, to understand the Supreme Court's version, where they have taken in fact cognizance of this entire incident in Malda. Sambhav, if you can give us some more details regarding this, please.
Well, the matter was mentioned before the Chief Justice of India's bench, the three-judge bench of the Supreme Court. The matter was mentioned before. It's today morning, and the Supreme Court has taken strong view when it comes to violence in the state of West Bengal, and also took the strong note of the state's so-called inaction. A court has emphasized that the need is to ensure the safety and the smooth functioning of the judicial process in the state of West Bengal. Now, what is important here is that the top court three-judge bench has directed the Election Commission of India to probe into this Malda incident, and the probe is to be done either by the Central Bureau of Investigation or the National Investigation Agency, that is NIA. And also the court has asked that the report of this probe is to be submitted, the preliminary report is to be submitted before the top court of the country. And the Election Commission is directed to deploy extra central forces for security of the judicial officers, and court has ordered immediate assessment of the threat perception of the judicial officers and their families. The top court three-judge bench has also restricted in a way, when it comes to verification and the hearing venues, the Supreme Court has said that not more than 5% be allowed at the verification and the hearing venues, and also because the hearing underwent for around 40-45 minutes, heated arguments were made in the top court. Also, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta present and said that this is not acceptable in the state of West Bengal, and later the Supreme Court has issued notices to the Chief Secretary, Director General of Police.
Sambhav, please do stay on with us. In fact, we have some more information regarding this. The Supreme Court now has issued strong directions in the Malda judicial officers confinement case. The Apex Court has ordered an immediate assessment of threat perception to the judicial officers and their families. It has imposed strict restrictions at all verification and hearing venues. No more than 5 persons will be allowed at a time. Only 2 to 3 persons will be permitted during filing of objections or hearings, and the Supreme Court has also issued show cause notices to the Chief Secretary, the DGP, the District Magistrate and SSP of Malda, seeking explanations over the security lapses. These orders come after 7 judicial officers were allegedly held hostage by a mob in the Kaliachak during special intensive revision work. All right, let me go across to Sambhav once again for more on this. Sambhav, like you were pointing out, some directions have been issued by the Supreme Court. It has also issued notices to the various authorities in Malda, and among the directions is they have raised questions about the security lapses over there. Obviously, Sambhav, these are judicial officers who have been given this additional duty by the ECI to conduct, and check for the SIR process, and their security was at stake during this entire incident.
Well, absolutely, and here the three-judge bench of the Supreme Court headed by the Chief Justice of India Surya Kant and other two judges, Justice Jayamal Awasthi and Justice Vipul Pancholi, took a stern, serious view when it comes to the inaction in this particular case, and the Supreme Court has directed Election Commission of India, because it was told that in the Supreme Court that ECI is taking care of the law and order these days. So in a way, Supreme Court has directed ECI to direct probe into this Malda incident by Central Bureau of Investigation or the National Investigation Agency, and also has asked that the preliminary report of this probe is to be submitted in the top court of the country before the Supreme Court. And also, as you are rightly pointing out, court has ordered immediate assessment of the threat perception to these judicial officers who are placed for this SIR, Special Intensive Revision Exercise, in the state of West Bengal, because see, as per the report, 7 judicial officers, including 3 women judges, are involved in this SIR of the electoral rolls, but carried out last evening for hours in the Malda district by those protesting their deletion from the voter list. And today the Supreme Court has taken stern view and taken the cognizance, and also issued certain directions and also restrictions imposed for not more than 5 persons allowed at the verification and hearing venue. And most importantly, if CJI is to conduct a probe into it.
Right. Sambhav, in fact, please do stay on with us. Regarding that, the Supreme Court has in fact directed that the investigation into the Malda incident, where 7 judicial officers were allegedly confined by a mob, be handed over to the CBI or the NIA. This is a significant order today, and the Apex Court has asked the central investigating agencies to take over the probe into the controversial episode that took place in Kaliachak to Malda district. So Sambhav, like you have also informed us earlier, that the Supreme Court has directed that the investigation should either be carried out by the CBI or the NIA.
Well, yes, and also, see, the important what is important here is that top court has passed this order, that this brazen, and as per this order, this incident of brazen attempt not only to browbeat the judicial officers but also challenges the authority of this court. This is what the top court 3-judge bench has said today. And it has further said that it was not routine incident but appears to be calculated, motivated move to demoralize these judicial officers. And remember, this is what the Supreme Court has passed its order today. Earlier also, the top court, in an oral remark made by the Chief Justice of India, the CJI has said, why only there's so much of problem in the state of West Bengal, why not in other states? So one senior advocate has said that there is this logical discrepancy thing in the state of West Bengal, and that is by a lot of, the SIR being conducted in the state of West Bengal is different from other states, is what one senior advocate has said earlier during the hearing, when the Chief Justice of India said, why only state of West Bengal, there are so many problems appearing. And now these reports that 7 judicial officers, including women judges, involving in this SIR extra were there out. So here the top court has taken stern view and issued certain directions, and if probe happens, then the preliminary report of that probe is to be submitted before the Supreme Court of India.
All right, stay on with us, Sambhav. In fact, we'll try. We have some more information coming our way. Tensions are rising in Narayanpur, Malda district, as protests escalate in front of a border security force camp. Voters whose names have been deleted from the electoral rolls during the ongoing special intensive revision have gathered in large numbers outside the BSF camp, raising slogans and demanding their names to be restored. The situation remains tense, with heavy police and security presence at the spot. All right, joining us on the broadcast for more on this particular incident is my colleague Rainik Datta. Rainik, नारायणपुर में भी प्रोटेस्ट हो रहे हैं एक BSF कैंप के सामने, उसके बारे में जरा हमें जानकारी दीजिए प्लीज।
एकदम देखिए, कल जिस तरीके से एसआईआर को लेकर प्रोटेस्ट मालदा में देखने को मिला था, रात भर प्रोटेस्ट होता, आज बस फिर से मालदा में देखने को मिल रहा है। मालदा का जो नारायणपुर एरिया है, उस जगह पर जो बीएसएफ कैंप है, उनके सामने एमएसटीएल ब्लॉक करके प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो प्रोटेस्ट दिखा रहा है। एसआईआर में जो नया लिस्ट दिखा है उसमें लिस्ट में बहुत सारे लोगों का नाम कर चुका है और उसी का प्रतिवाद में ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो किया जा रहा है। लगातार ये जो प्रोटेस्ट भड़का हुआ नजर आ रहा है, उसको उसे कंट्रोल करने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है, मगर उसके बावजूद भी प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो नेशनल हाईवे रोककर ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो दिखा रहा है। दूसरी खबर से खबर मिल रहा है कि नारायणपुर के साथ साथ ही मालदा का दूसरी जगह पर भी ये प्रोटेस्ट भड़का है और लगातार ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो एसआईआर के खिलाफ में किया जा रहा है। एसआईआर में जिस तरीके से लोगों का नाम एडजुडिकेशन में था, उसके बाद जो लिस्ट निकला था एडजुडिकेशन की बाद सुनवाई होने के बाद जो लिस्ट निकला था, उस लिस्ट में बहुत सारे लोगों का नाम कर चुका है और उसी को देखते हुए ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो नेशनल हाईवे के ऊपर बढ़ता है और नेशनल हाईवे को करके ये प्रोटेस्ट किया जा रहा है और अभी भी पुलिस नेशनल हाईवे को क्लियर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और लगातार जो प्रोटेस्टर है वो प्रोटेस्ट कर रहा है।
जी बिल्कुल रैनिक बने रहे हमारे साथ। इनफैक्ट वी हैव सम मोर इंफॉर्मेशन कमिंग आवर वे। Tensions continue to rise in Malda as protesters have blocked National Highway 12, chanting the slogan "Voters first, votes later." Demonstrators holding placards and national flags are demanding the restoration of names deleted from the electoral rolls during the special intensive revision. The blockade has brought connectivity between South Bengal and North Bengal to a standstill, causing major traffic disruptions on this key रूट। तो रैनिक हमें यह भी पता लग रहा है कि नेशनल हाईवे 12 का भी ब्लॉकेड किया जा रहा है प्रोटेस्टर्स के द्वारा।
देखिए प्रोटेस्टर जो है वो नेशनल हाईवे के ऊपर आकर प्रोटेस्ट दिखा रहा है। नेशनल हाईवे 12 को बंद करके रखा गया है, पूरा बंद किया गया है। सुबह 11 बजे से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो बरका है। 11 बजे से लेकर अभी भी नेशनल हाईवे 12 को बंद रखा गया है। पुलिस की तरफ से प्रोटेस्टर को हटाने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है, मगर उसके बावजूद भी लगातार जो प्रोटेस्टर वो नेशनल हाईवे के ऊपर ब्लॉक किया है और नेशनल हाईवे का जो ट्रैफिक वो अभी फिलहाल बंद करके रखा गया है। और उसके साथ साथ ही कल भी रात को इस तरीके से प्रोटेस्ट हुआ था, नेशनल हाईवे को ब्लॉक किया गया था। कल रात 12 बजे के बाद पुलिस की तरफ से जो प्रोटेस्टर है उनको हटाया गया था, मगर आज सुबह से फिर से प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो बरका है और लगातार जो प्रोटेस्टर है उनकी तरफ से नेशनल हाईवे को ब्लॉक करके प्रोटेस्ट दिखाया जा रहा है। एसआईआर में जिन लोगों का नाम कटा है उसी का प्रतिवाद में ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो किया जा रहा है, ऐसा ही उनकी तरफ से कहा जा रहा है। पुलिस की तरफ से भी सिचुएशन को कंट्रोल करने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है। उसमें सेंट्रल फोर्स को भी डिप्लॉय किया गया है, सेंट्रल फोर्स की तरफ से भी उनको हटाने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है, मगर प्रोटेस्ट अभी भी फिलहाल नेशनल हाईवे के ऊपर है। नेशनल हाईवे के ऊपर प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो दिखा रहा है।
जी बिल्कुल रैनिक, in fact we also have some more information coming our way from Malda where we have the officer in charge of this actually give out a statement. Let's in fact listen into that statement if we have that. All right. Thank you so much, Renick and Sambhav, for taking us through those details on that front.